This is 2.5 part 2, solving rational equations. Example 1, we're going to solve x plus 6 over x minus 8. Okay, so we are going to get common denominators. So we're going to get common denominators. Okay, now I could just move over the 6 over x minus 8 and multiply. However, I want to do this in order to have you have a method to do any equation. So let me change my pen width. So my common denominator is going to be x minus 8. So my denominators need x minus 8 as the common denominator. So right now my x is over 1. So if I went from a 1, if I went from a 1 to an x minus 8, that means I multiplied the numerator, which was x, by the new term, which is x minus 8. There's nothing new from this x minus 8 to this one, so I'm not changing the 6. And then I'm going to multiply through and get x squared minus 8x plus 6 over x minus 8 equals 0. And anytime that you have a fraction, in order to get a 0, that means the numerator has to be 0 in order to get 0. This part really doesn't matter right now. The only thing this is going to matter for is extraneous solutions. So if you do this whole entire problem and you get 8 as an answer, then you know that it's an extraneous solution and it's not actually a solution. So right now we're only going to concentrate on x squared minus 8x plus 6 equaling 0. So my x squared minus my 8x plus 6 equals 0. And for this, I'm going to go on the next screen because we're going to need some space. From the previous screen, I have x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0. This does not factor, so we're going to have to do quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so we're going to plug that in. So this, my a is 1, my b is negative 8, my c is positive 6. So my x equals negative 8 plus or minus the square root of b, that's a terrible 8, b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That gives me 8 plus or minus 64 minus 24 over 2, which is 8 plus or minus square root of 40 over 2, which is 8 plus or minus 2 root 10 over 2. Remember, square root of 40 is square root of 4 times 10. Square root of 4 is 2. And I can cancel a 2 out of each one of these. And my x's become 4 plus or minus root 10. So as long as 8 is not one of my denominators, those are both my solutions to the equation. Okay. Next problem, I have x plus x minus 1 over 3x minus 2. So again, I need to get common denominators. So my common denominator is going to be x minus 1. If I can get my common denominators, then I can just set all the numerators equal to each other. So nothing's going to change on the second one or the last part. So now all I'm going to do is do all of my numerators together. Once my denominators are all the same, we're going to multiply my numerators together. That's x squared minus x plus x equals 3x minus 2. Since I have a square and things that are not squares down here, I have a quadratic. The minus x and the x are going to cancel out. So I'm going to have to move my 3x over here and my minus 2 over here. These will cancel out. That gives me x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. And if I factor that, that's x minus 2, x minus 1, which means my two x's are going to be 2 and 1. However, keep in mind my domain. The only thing that I cannot have in my domain is a 1. So remember, your domain is all reals except 1. So that means that my x equals 1 is out. It's extraneous. It doesn't count. And the only answer, the only solution I have is x equals 2. That is my only solution.